Samatha and Vipassana. Samatha or sometimes it is called Samadhi. Samadhi and Vipassana. Vipassana. Samatha and Vipassana. In other words, we say Samatha Bhavana and Vipassana Bhavana. Two kinds of mental culture. Want to cultivate the mind, want to develop the mind. We can divide all the different methods, all the different objects, all the different methods of training. We divide them into these two, Samatha and Vipassana. Say? No. Vipassana. Say? Na. Vipassana. It comes from two words. It comes from the word, the prefix vi. The word vi is pronounced as we, and in all Indian languages, the alphabet V is pronounced as we, right? So we Vipassana. Vipassana means to see. Vipassana, we here refers to a special way of seeing things. No? So you develop your mind to see things in a special way. Now, Samatha meditation, in English, we refer this to tranquil meditation. Tranquil. Tranquil. You know what tranquil is? Calmness. That means this meditation leads to calmness of the mind. Calm and tranquil. And the other one, Vipassana, leads to what? Insight. 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 Insight here, not inside and outside. Insight here refers to that wisdom, that penetrative wisdom, that through which one is able to see, to penetrate into the true nature of life, the true nature of existence. So these are the two kinds of bhavana. What are they? Samatha and Vipassana. Samatha leads to calmness and tranquility, whereas Vipassana leads to insight, wisdom, knowledge, real knowledge. And now, what are the objects? How do we develop calmness of the mind? What are the objects for the development, for the cultivation of the mind. Before we speak about the different objects, what is important to understand is that in order to cultivate the mind, there are certain requisites that we have to do. Certain preliminary actions that we have to take. It is just like cultivating a small plot of land, or in your homes, if you have a small garden outside, how do you cultivate that piece of land? How would you cultivate that garden? Can you tell me how? Yes. Yes. Put the seeds, huh? That's right. First, you have to clear the land, isn't it? There are weeds, there are all kinds of grasses and weeds. You don't want that. So you have to remove them. And after removing them, then you aerate or you plow. And then after that, you put in the seeds and you put water, and then you look after it. Then that is how you grow the plants. You cultivate those plants in your garden. And your mind too is like the garden. Your mind. Remember, the mind is like a field, like a garden. And in order to cultivate this mind, what do you have to do? Are there weeds in your mind? What are the weeds in your mind? Oh, yes, the defilements, mental defilements. Like what? What are these mental defilements that become, that cling and that ties up the mind into? Yes. These are, well, they themselves are not weeds, but when you cling to them, clinging, craving, and hatred, anger, jealousy, envy, all these are real weeds in the mind. These defilements, they dirty the mind, and we need to know how to clean them up. Which kind of weed killer do we use? Gramazon, is it? Yes, for those of you who have estates, rubber estates and oil palm estates, you know what kind of weed killer. You put the weed killer, then after some time, weeds die. In our case, how do we attack this defilement? How? How do you attack this defilement? You must have that strong, what is that? Mindfulness. It is through mindfulness, it is through awareness. It is through mindfulness, through awareness, that you will be able to weed out. You will be able to notice them. And then you can weed out. And again, it depends what kind of weed. If it is due to craving, due to lust, then we have certain objects of meditation, certain mental objects that we take, and which can overcome this craving for the body, the craving to the body. And if, on the other hand, there is plenty of aversion, hatred, ill will in the mind, then we take another object. What is that object? Metta, metta or loving kindness. We irradiate metta. We think in this manner that may I be free from anger, free from ill health, free from suffering. May I be well, happy, and may others too be well and happy. If they are angry, they are not happy, no? They cannot be well if they are angry. So, wish others well and happy, and when you see people who are really very angry with you, then you know how to dilute, dissolve the anger. Sit down quietly and then direct your, send your thoughts, vibration to them. May you be free from anger, free from anger, free from anger, free. Of course, don't look at them, and think, and then, of course, not only charge, not only send out, but you have to charge your inside battery here. May I be free from anger. Otherwise, when they blow their top, you will blow your tops also. So, you think, may I be free from anger, free from anger, free from anger. And then you direct the attention to them. That he also be free from anger, free from anger. You try these things and you see how it works, you know. In fact, the Buddha used this force of metta and loving kindness to tame. Now, you sing that song, or the Gatha. What Gatha is this? Jaya Mangala Gatha. You say, Bahung Sahasa Mabini Jitavas. And there is one where the Buddha had to face a charging, wild, intoxicated elephant. Who sent that elephant? Devadatta. Oh, you know the story, huh? Do you know the story? I see. Very good. And Devadatta was the very cousin. It's his brother, cousin brother of the Buddha. And when he became a monk, and when the Buddha was getting old, Devadatta approached the Buddha and said that, why don't you appoint me deputy Buddha? He wanted to become the deputy, so that he can take over, that he can become the Pope. But Buddha did not want to have popes. So Buddha did not appoint him. So he got very angry. He got very angry and he cherished, he grudged. And so much so that one day he plotted to get rid of the Buddha. So he went to the young king. What was his name? Ajatasattu. Yes, King Ajatasattu, who was the son of King Bimbisara. Now, he went to King Ajatasattu and managed to persuade King Ajatasattu and to lend him one elephant, one huge elephant. And what he did was, he got that elephant, gave some, what? I do not know, some brandy or some whiskey, intoxicated that elephant. And then got that elephant to move in the direction where the Buddha was walking. So when that elephant came charging before the Buddha, now the Buddha was then walking and Ananda was beside him. You know Ananda? Where is Ananda? Ananda. Not this. What would you do, Ananda? If you walk beside the Buddha and then a big elephant comes, and what will you do? What will you do? What would you do? Block elephant. And, well, you are right. You are right. That was what exactly the previous Ananda tried to do. He took a stake, you know, he had a basin, he had a stake, and he wanted to protect the Buddha, you know, block. And the Buddha told him, no, Ananda, sit down. And Buddha told Ananda, sit down. And then the Buddha too sat down, calmed his mind down, and then the Buddha radiated his loving kindness, his metta. He just sent out the metta to this wild, intoxicated elephant. So strong was his thought, so strong was the mental energy, the vibration, that this vibration penetrated the elephant. And what happened to the elephant? The elephant stopped, kneel down, kowtow before the Buddha. Now that's why you see those pictures, very, they are very popular, those pictures. What is the name of the elephant? Nalagiri. Remember? Nalagiri. And that is that elephant. How the Buddha subdued the elephant by metta, the force of metta. And you know the Karaniya Metta Sutta? Metta Sutta? You chant Karaniya Metta Sutta. Now, that Metta Sutta was given by the Buddha. The Metta Sutta was prescribed for the monks. What was the occasion? For what purpose? Anybody knows? General knowledge. That's right. And the monks went to jungles, and what happened? That's right. A group of monks, about 500 monks, they had gone to the forest, to the jungle. And then they were practicing their meditation there. And while they were seated, they were disturbed by various spirits. And their robes disappeared here and there, their bowls taken away, a lot of noise. So they became very fearful, and they could not meditate, they could not sit properly. So they went to see the Buddha, and they reported this incident to the Buddha. So when the Buddha heard of this incident, then the Buddha advised them. Buddha advised them, go there, go back. And this is how the Buddha instructed them. This discourse, Karaniya Metta Sutta, was the discourse whereby the Buddha instructed the 500 monks what to do, how to overcome these what you call disturbing spirits. So they went there and recollecting, contemplating on this discourse, and they practiced. The gist of this discourse, the principle of the practice of metta, where you find in the Karaniya Metta Sutta, where you radiate your thoughts of loving kindness to all beings in all the directions, above, below, and all around you, whether big or small, fat or thin, tall or short, middle size. You radiate them to all creatures. Thinking of all the creatures, you radiate them. They all be well and happy. Now from this discourse, there have been other monks in the ancient times. They have developed some other protective discourses, all based on metta. Those who are afraid of snakes, those who stay in houses or in places where there are plenty of snakes, serpents, and you know what to do? There is a very powerful, what you call chant, charm. What is that called? Paritta, protection. What paritta is it called? Khanda paritta. Khanda paritta. Where you recite the names of all the different classes of snakes. Yes, different classes and different families. They belong to 4 big families. You know the 4 big families of snakes? What are the 4 big families? You know them? Virupaka, then Irapata, Chabhyapata, then Kanha Gotama. Yes, these are the 4 big classes of snakes. In fact, well, I think the snakes, you see, well, of course. Now, those big classes of snakes, at that time, those found in India, but certainly those kinds of snakes can also be found, in here, and because they belong to the same family, although they have different species. They are different colors, different, but same family. And so you radiate loving kindness to all of them. And so, and not only that, you think that all those creatures, creatures without legs, 2-legged ones, including a human being, very dangerous, the most dangerous creatures. Don't think of snakes as very dangerous. The most dangerous creatures, you know who? Who? Human beings, yes, that's right. Human beings are the most dangerous creatures in this world, if you think about it. And so you must radiate your metta to human beings also, no? 2-legged ones, then the 4-legged ones, and the many-legged ones. there any creatures, one-legged one? Oh yes. In that case, yes, we have also to radiate that, you see. Without leg, one leg, now we have to add in, two-legged, and many-legged ones. We wish them all be well and happy. And then you think like this. Every time you see a kind of what you call a creature that you are frightened, you think, just have this kind of thought. When you see them, you think that, I wish you no harm. May no harm come to you, and no harm come to me. If you think like that, then you live. Let them pass. Let them go their way. They will go their way. They won't disturb. It's only when you disturb them, then they are threatened. Then they come after you. So, if you have this kind of frame of mind, but don't go out looking for them. If you look for them, then you will find them. Then you get up, frightened for nothing. So don't go looking for them. Although you go with armed with this thought that whatever beings, whatever wild creatures there are, may they all be well and happy. When they are well and happy, they won't disturb you, It's only when they are not well that they come after people. So, those of you who cannot hear what Chief Reverend says, that the animals, they can respond to our mental vibration because they are very sensitive. See, they can respond to this. In fact, you can see the dogs, the cats, which you have at home, and you can speak to them, and they will respond to you. When you get angry, you see the cat responding, and when you put cats and dogs in the temple, you see how they are very calm and quiet. But don't you send your dogs and cats here. Well, it is truly, we have had dogs and cats here who are very calm and who are very quiet. In fact, there is one cat there also, very quiet, very peaceful. So it is your mind. When your mind purifies the atmosphere, then the animals too become peaceful. And that is why it is important to live and let live. And you see, I have heard of stories. It appeared in the newspaper when I was studying in Sri Lanka, how those days there are pythons, who have the python that has bitten somebody's leg, one boy's leg, see, and then he yelled for help. Then the native doctor came. The native doctor, they sent for a native doctor, and what he did was, he took a bamboo and put in the mouth, and then slowly, and when the bamboo has gone in, so that the python cannot, yes. No, not the voice mouth. straighten out a little bit so that they can pull, because the python's teeth, you see, is directed inwards. So they have to put that and then open up a little bit. Now, after putting in the bamboo, what he did was he took a knife and he cut. You see, he operated the python and removed the boy's leg. After having operated, yes, that's right. After having operated, then he sewed them, and stitched them, and after stitching, he took herbs and applied herbs there. And then the bamboo was removed and left the python there quietly, you see. And then the python healed and went his way. Now, this is the kind of attitude in that village, you see, even to that animal. And if you had gone somewhere else, what happened when they see this kind of thing? They just take the gun and finish. So you see the culture there. People don't kill unnecessarily. No? Of course, today, people do not have this kind of thoughts. And I have seen on another occasion, this happened in Ratmalana, where our former institute was. Now, this man came, and we had a few dogs there, quite a few dogs there. And when this man was seated there, this dog came running straight, charged at this man, and he did not attack him. He went right underneath where he sat and sat down underneath him. No? Sat down and then sit there. And I thought this is a very strange phenomenon. Then this man told me, he was an elderly man. Then this man told me, he was an elderly man. And he told me, well, this happens everywhere he goes, you see. The dogs come and sit down very peacefully beside him. So it seems that he's a dog man. He loves, could have been also, you see. Could have been a very loving one, you see, and a very friendly one. You see. And anyway, you can find this. There are yogis, meditators in the forest who practices metta, or the wild animals too come. And so, the force of metta. We are talking about the practice of metta. And when you radiate this metta, then you can free the mind from hatred and aversion. Aversion is a strong dislike. You dislike for those animals. You dislike for those people. Now, when you dislike them, they also dislike you. Don't think they like you. You dislike everybody, but you think everybody likes you. No. Dislike begets dislike. Anger begets anger. That is a natural tendency. When somebody speaks harsh words towards you, you return them a few more harsh ones, isn't it? Which you have recently learned. And you know better ones also. More dynamic ones. And then they return to you some very harsh ones. Now you lose. So what you do? You start throwing stones. When you throw stones, they throw bricks. And like this, you find there is no end in this quarrel. So if one quietly and Give love. Give love does not mean to say, look at that person silently. He might get more angry. There is a way, sometimes people, they say, if somebody is angry, I will keep quiet. But when they keep quiet, it depends how their expressions. They can make certain bodily, expression as if that, they are quiet. They keep quiet, but inside them, they are not, they are boiling inside. So you make people more angry sometimes. So instead, if you really have that metta, you love, have radiate your loving kindness to that person, you think that he is angry because, he does not, because of his habit, his weakness. It is a weakness, no? So you do not fall prey. You want to help that person. So you be patient and do not aggravate the situation. Then you see how he will reduce his anger. You don't have to look directly to him. You can go somewhere else, but without reacting to it. And give love that person. Then, So, this is how the force of metta and the practice of metta to overcome anger, hatred. Actually, we will be talking about the advantages of metta later on, but today, tonight or this evening, what we want to do is to point out to you how certain objects, we take certain objects for meditation in order to overcome certain defilements of the mind, the strong weeds in the mind. So you weed them out, you weed hatred with metta. And then delusion in the mind, ignorance in the mind, dullness of your mind. How do you overcome that dullness of the mind, the stupidity in the mind? How do you overcome that? What kind of meditation you do that? When you close your eyes, everything dark inside. And then you go to sleep. Yes, some people, when they close their eyes, it feels all very dark. And then they, little while more, they cannot, because their mind just cannot work. And so, we have an object. The object of brightness, light. That is why sometimes, you light a candle or look a bright object. Or if you can, you think of a bright image in front of you and brighten up your mind. Then you become wide awake. Then your awareness arises, you see. And otherwise, your mind becomes so dark. So wake up, aware, overcome this dullness of the mind. And now to overcome this and your contemplation, your study on the Dhamma and reflection on Dhamma teachings, reflection on the teachings of the Buddha will help you to overcome certain foolish thoughts, certain wrong views in your mind. It is these wrong views that have polluted the mental stream, the mental current, and that is why the mind has become dull, unable to use it. So you have to remove these things, like what you are doing. You have the opportunity to question. By questioning, You hold certain view. You have certain view in your mind. You have held these views for a long time. And sometimes these views are not right. So if you cling to it, it becomes very crystalline, very difficult to remove it. So when you have opportunity to discuss Dhamma, then you will have the opportunity to remove and loosen the ties of these views. So that when these views, when the wrong views go, then you have right views about things. And that is what is going to help you to remove the strong chain of illusion or delusion, deluded mind, ignorance, so stupidity in the mind. So, now when these defilements are removed, the mind becomes purer. When the mind becomes pure, it is strong, it is calm and quiet. Now, when the mind is calm and quiet, the mind, that calm and quiet mind can be compared to a pool of water. Have you seen a pool of water? If you go around, you see the tin mining pool, the tin mine pool, deep, and when it is calm, it is clear, isn't it? You can see the bottom of it. You can see the rock, and sometimes they have put some fishes there. You can see the fishes too. That is when the pond, when the pool is calm and quiet. But when the pool is, when it rains or when you having thrown stones in it, and it is what you call, it is disturbed. The pool is disturbed. It is not calm anymore. Can you see bottom? Can you see what is inside the pool? No. The mind too is like that. When your mind is calm, when your mind is clear, it is just like the pool. Then you can see. What do you see? Fishes? Stones? Not fishes and stones. You begin to see your own, the thoughts and all the defilements there. You see anger arising. You see lust, greed, desires arising. You see what you call the stupidity, confused state of mind, how you become confused, how fear arises. When your mind is calm and clear, you will be able to notice these things. And it is important, once when you are able to notice them, be aware of them, then the next step, you can take the proper measures how to get rid of them. But the first important thing is to notice, to be aware, to observe, just to see it as it arises. So this is where we need to calm the mind. Now, how much to calm the mind, that depends on how strong your mind is. If your mind is not strong, you need to calm it more. If your mind is already strong, and if you have a sharp mind, then you don't have to calm it for so much. So this kind of meditation, calming down the mind, there are traditionally, according to our tradition, there are 40 objects of meditation. There are 40 objects how to calm the mind. Now, the objects like contemplation on the Buddha, Buddhanusati, to contemplate on Buddha, the virtues of the Buddha. You know, when you recite salutation to the Buddha, Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijjacharana Sampanno and so on. Yes, they are the virtues of the Buddha. And also salutation to the Dhamma and salutation to the Sangha, they are actually the virtues or the qualities of Dhamma and Sangha. So when you use your mind, when you recite, as you recite and you reflect on these virtues, then your mind becomes calm, becomes quiet. But if you want to use this as an object of meditation, then maybe it is not necessary to recite all that. You just take one or two of the virtues of the Buddha. Arahang, Arahang, Arahan, Arahan, Samma Sambuddho, Samma Sambuddho. You use one or two of them and then contemplate again, until your mind becomes calm and quiet. Buddho, 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 like that. Until how your mind can become quiet. Virtues, Buddha. And then you have also there are other contemplations with regards to, there are what you call kasinas. Kasinas. And we don't have to go through all these details. If you want the details, you can read the meditation book. They are called kasinas. Now these kasinas, they are of different types. There are different colors. Colored kasinas. Blue color and yellow and white kasina. They are different. There are how many kasinas? 10 kasinas. Yes, there are about 10 kasinas. Yes. Kasina is what you call an object, whereby now this is how they make a light box, and they put a small hole, and then they what you call switch on that light, or they put a candle, and then that light, is reflected on the wall or on the screen, and then that object, the colored disc, colored disc, that is called kasina, and one contemplates on that. And now, then, but I tell you all these things, and don't you, tomorrow you say, no, I want to try now, and because, well, these different kasinas, you see, you need to have. It is good, actually, if you want to develop these things, it is proper that you have some proper guidance, experience. Otherwise, you do not know how to handle these experiences. So they have the different kasinas depending different temperaments, different temperaments. In fact, 2,500 years and more ago, people have found, those people there have found what you call color therapy. You know color therapy? How, in fact, nowadays, certain medical science are just beginning to discover therapy from colored light. When people have rheumatic problems and tension there, then they put certain colored lights and they reflect that light on, they radiate that light on the part of that body and the part of that to treatment, as a treatment. Now, some people, according to their nature, some are very, what you call, irritable nature and hot-tempered nature, then certain colors are not good for them. So if they do not know these things, they add on to that color, then they become more irritable. So, well, one thing that from what our experience is that if you are of an irritable nature, you should avoid that bright color like red and other things. And take on to the more blue and dark color, more soothing, more calming there. And dark blue like that. And so there are these different colors. Now, apart from this, there are also the practice of the Brahma Vihara, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha, the 4 Brahma Viharas. And then you have the contemplation on the different decomposition of the body, different stages of decomposition of the body. Why? What is this for? When you contemplate the body, a few days, dead, swollen, blue, swollen, and then after that, how it decay and the worms and all that comes out. Why? For what? That is to overcome. It is to overcome the craving to the body. It is when you have very strong attachment to the body, and this is how it conditions lust, desires for the body. But when you begin to see the true nature of the body, when you start to dissect and analyze them into their different parts, you have the stomach, intestine here, and the liver, and what you call kidneys, and all that. Then you can see whether beautiful body or not. Now, it is when you begin to see the true nature of your body that you will begin to lose what you call attachment to the body, and that the notion of beauty goes away. And all these people, they, when you see the body, it is nicely decorated with what you call different colors. They have blue, black here, and pink, and rosy, and what you call lipstick, and all kinds of things, and all kinds of colors. And you think, oh, very beautiful. But if you remove them, if you just remove a little bit, remove the skin only, then you begin to see whether beautiful or not. So beauty is only skin deep. Only skin. Start removing, start peeling the skin, and you begin to see the blood vessels and the ligaments, the white ligaments, and then you may faint. So that is what. It is true when you begin to see the true nature of the body. What you see is the hair. What the first day we told you about this. The 5 things that you see. The hair. Hair, kesa, right? You still remember kesa. Kesa, hair. Hair of the head. And hair of the head, they are dead cells. Then the next thing you see is loma, hair of the body. All the hair that grows on the body, they are also dead. Loma. Then you see nail, naka. The nails that you see, they are also dead cells. But some people, they play with dead things, and they paint and polish them, and they spend so much time on dead bodies. These are dead cells, parts of your body that are already dead. And then the other thing is the teeth. You see the teeth very beautiful, and you see all the, what you call the advertisement, they show the teeth. So if you look carefully, ask them to open their mouth, like the hippopotamus, you know. And next time that you see an advertisement with smiling faces, just stretch a little bit of your imagination and open the mouth big, and you see all the holes and the patches and then you can see, and the smell. Very nice teeth, they bloody. And then, again you see the skin outside. And you see all the advertisements, very smooth skin and fragrant and soft skin, But if you look carefully at the skin, you will see the holes, the freckles here and there, the moles and patches here and there, and wrinkles here and there, and then this side one color, that side another color. So they are also dead cells. So actually what you are seeing, they are all dead cells. But we see this thing on the whole, we see their beauty. When this is the deluded mind, this is the ignorant mind, the mind that is not able to see the things as the true nature of it. When you begin to see the true nature of it, you see there is nothing there. And that is how we can weed out that strong craving, attachment to the body. So now you see these objects, these different objects, some 40 of them, they are to weed out, to remove, help us to remove craving, remove hatred, and remove delusion. So then the most common object of meditation which the Buddha prescribed is that what you call, what is that? You call this Anapanasati. See? Long, you can break them up. Anapanasati. Say? No na. It is na. Anapanasati. Say? As you say Anapanasati, you breathe in and out. This is what you call breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And this method, this object of meditation, the Buddha gained his enlightenment through this practice. And observing his breath. When he breathes in, he knows, he observes the breath going in. When he breathes out, he knows, he is aware the breath coming out. And so what we do is, what you have done was breathing in and breathing out. Observe your breath as it enters and leaves your nostrils. Now the first stage of development, we say, just watch one place. Just watch one place. Around the tip of your nostrils where the breath goes in and out. Just watch there. Mind goes out, bring back again there. But your mind must be alert, must be aware, so that when the mind is already calm, then you carefully observe it, closely observe it, so that you know when you are breathing out long, it's a long out breath, you know it is a long breath. You breathe in long, you know it is a long breath. You are aware of it. As normally you do not do it force yourself, but it occurs naturally. Whatever happens to your breath, when you watch the breath, whatever happens, you just observe the nature of it. Sometimes it is short breath, sometimes it is long breath, sometimes it is quick, sometimes it is slow, sometimes you breathe hot air out, sometimes you breathe cold air. You watch and observe this nature. So this is what you call kamathana, right? It is the place of you watch the place, you take your mind and tie your mind to one place, tie your mind to one spot, and watch that object, the nature of that object. Now the first stage, I say, is just to watch on one. And then when your mind is calm and quiet, then you have to make your mind aware and alert. And don't cling to that. When you cling to that calmness, when you watch and then your mind becomes calm and then whoop, when you cling to that calmness, when you cling to that quietness, the next thing comes drowsiness. And your mind becomes, your mind cannot work properly. So, this is, when you begin to see it, when your mind is calm, sufficiently calm, then observe the nature, observe the true nature of this breath. Now similarly, those who have learned the object of their rising and falling of their abdomen, that means just the spot above the navel, a few inches above the navel, they can watch rising and falling. This rising and falling of the abdomen is caused by the breath. When you breathe in and breathe out, you can see the abdomen rise and fall. So you watch the abdomen rise and fall, and you watch again the nature of that, what you call object, whether sometimes that part becomes hardened, sometimes it is very soft, sometimes it is, what you call very smooth, sometimes it is very, it is jerky. So you keep on watching. Your mind is alert. Your mind is wide awake. So watching that, watching. Now that is how you should be watching this. And in the Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha explained very clearly how you should develop your mindfulness and awareness. In fact, it is in this discourse the Buddha mentioned Ekaya no ayang bhikkhave maggo satthanam visuddhya. Buddha says Ekaya no ayang bhikkhave maggo. This, O monks, Buddha addressed the monks, this is the only way for satthanam visuddhya, for the purification of beings, for the purification of beings, to purify your mind. Dukkha domanasanam atangamaya, samatikamaya, to overcome dukkha, Omanasana.